Welcome back to Brands Hatch for round 13 of the iRacing British Touring Car Championship here on BSR TV with me, Chris Cohen, and Dan Blake. Dan, an exciting qualifying session. Have you seen anything like that at Brands Hatch?
Not for a very long time, but I think this race could eclipse everything that we've seen so far this evening.
Absolutely, and the cars just making their way onto the grid now. We have Ade Koba-Lopez, who is his first time out in this championship, in actual fact, has gone pole position here, and that's pretty incredible in itself. Andreas Katz is second on, he's third on the grid after Richard Wilde just snatched that second position by 1/1000th of a second there. Pretty incredible, and that was his last qualifying lap as well.
Yeah, very impressive. Richard Wilde knew that he had to make it stick there, and that's what he did. So we're getting ready for racing now, I believe.
Absolutely, the lights go on. There's a car missing from the grid, not sure who that is, we'll pick up on that in a moment. As we're green for round 13 at Brands Hatch. The car's getting away now. It's a good start from Katz, who's down the inside of Wilde, looking to make that position back. Down into paddock for the first time. This is
there's a car going off on it's Simon Field, I think, off on the gravel. He's going to lose a lot of positions there, so not the start Simon Field wanted. He goes up Harewood Hill towards Jewett, but he's lost a lot of time, and I think there is a car on the grass, and there's a car off behind him as well. One of the motor-based cars has clattered into one of the other cars going into Jewett, and it's carnage as we predicted.
Absolutely. Well, I've got to say it could have been worse than that, as we have a look now at Andreas Katz, who's currently running in second. That will update on your screen when he goes round. But what happened to Simon Field at the start there? That was a disastrous start, really. Simon Field, where is he running now? Because he's dropped quite far down the grid, I'd say. And he's off again, Simon Field. He's got a lot of damage on the front of that car.
And talking of big blows, big damage there, but talking of big blows, Ellis Stevens has managed to drop out of the race, so very unfortunate there for the man who was second in the championship. He's back now, but he's going to lose a lap, so what a blow for Ellis Stevens.
Absolutely, we're not quite sure what happened to Ellis there, but your race leader at the moment is Koba-Lopez for Team Club 44 with Andreas Katz and Richard Wilde right on their tail. And who is that in fourth? Is that Adam Terry right behind him?
Yeah, it is our championship leader Adam Terry, and there's a gap between them and the car in fifth position, which is Marcus Naris. So the top four looking to break away. His KX teammate behind him is David Grunnell. Then we have our debutant Mark Fletcher in seventh place. Eighth place is Chris Shaw. Ninth is Yulia, and in fact Yulia Gnoski's in the pit, so he's not in ninth position. But as the cars come around to complete a lap, they've already started to spread out quite a bit already.
Absolutely, it seems like the front runners have got a nice little advantage, but some of the midfield pack, as we watch Stephen Hefford down in 11th, they're quite close to one another. Just behind him, Simon Field down in 12th place after an impressive qualifying. He will be a little bit gutted by that, I imagine, and especially as there's a lot of damage on the front of that car. That might well affect his lap times down.
Yeah, it's the first race of the last meeting, so Simon Field and trouble has gone wide again, and that's going to allow the Welsh Motorsport car to go past the link of Neil Hind, and Simon Field really is struggling in this race, so very unfortunate for Simon Field, but I think it's going to be a long slog for him this first race.
Not enjoyable at all, really, when you've got such a damaged car. One of the eBay Motors is just behind Simon Field. That's Steve Richardson down in what would be 14th place, I believe. Ridley behind him, Rex, then Teagle, then new entry is Ryan Littlemore. And Simon Field's meet looked to be going pretty well up until that first corner incident. I'm not sure if there was contact. I didn't see any contact on that first corner. I don't know about you, Dan, but it just looked like he got a little bit wide, got on the gravel, and then all hell broke loose down at Druids.
Yeah, I think what it was he came out wide going down to Paddock Hill, lost a lot of grip on the gravel, and then when he got to Druids, he didn't have the grip he wanted. But our leader Koba-Lopez has already got traffic, he's already negotiating traffic, so these cars that come into the pits to get damage are getting a little bit in the way, but he's already managed to pull out a 1.7 second lead.
Katz is not letting him go.
8/10 second lead to Andreas Katz.
Absolutely.
No, Katz is not letting him go indeed, but they're starting to pull away a little bit from Richard Wilde there. That's the car I thought was in second place, but here's Andreas Katz, of course. But Richard Wilde and Adam Terry dropping back a bit from this front too, and it's Katz and Koba Lopez at the moment running in the top 2 positions.
That's right, Adam Terry down in 4th, but with his main championship contender Ellis Stevens out of this race, he could be in for a big extension to his lead here.
Yeah, in fact, Ellis Stevens is back on track now, but he's running 2 laps down, so in 33rd position. But he'll be trying to hope he can pick up positions from cars to drop out, and there's a lot of fierce battling going on in front of him. There's the newcomer. We got one of the motor-based cars, Airways cars, and KX car as well. So that's the number 60 car involved as well. Our newcomer, Ryan Littlemore. So that battle from about 15th place downwards, very fast and furious.
Just coming into Druids, watching that little battle now. One of the KX momentums of Jonathan Rex, is it? I believe up in front. Teagle, and then Littlemore, then Hunt.
Yeah, he's the one leading that train.
And what happened to Dan Hunt? Because he had another good qualifying position and seems to have dropped right back.
Yeah, Dan Hunt dropped right down to 19th position, so he's another one like Simon Field who's not had a good start. And Simon Field has now got Steve Richardson all over the back bumper, that Rick's Racing car. So the eBay Motors car will be trying to make Simon Field's meeting, his first race, a little bit worse than it is already. But Simon Field is carrying quite considerable damage, but he'll still be in the points, but just about.
Yeah, 13th for Simon Field at the moment, and of course he's not on his usual pace, having sustained, we suspect, quite significant damage to the front of that car. Still going, but Steve Richardson is nothing if not persistent. He's down in 14th as he makes a move down the inside, and Field's wide again. Richardson's got the line now down into 30s.
Yeah, Field's gone wide. Yeah, and he's going to make the move stick, but up towards the front, it's starting to hot up because Richard Wilde has caught up again with Andreas Katz, so we're back to 3 from the lead. He's ditched Adam Terry. Adam Terry is 3 seconds behind, so at the moment it's 3 for the lead. We've got Kerma Lopez, Katz and Wilde as they come down towards Graham Hill Bend, and there's more traffic in front. This is something which we didn't have to really encounter at Laguna Seca. It's been a much longer track. This one only been 47-second laps. Getting around the traffic is something which is going to be quite important for the leaders in these races today. Absolutely.
As we join up with the leaders now on screen, Lopez has not managed to pull away from Katz at all, and you're right, Richard Wilde has got right on the back of them. I mean, these guys haven't been challenging each other for position, so Richard Wilde seems to have done that on his own merit. So perhaps he's just managed his tyres a bit better, or perhaps the other two are just a little bit uneasy of making a move on one another down as we go into lap 9.
Yeah, we're still in the early stage of the race. We've got a 16-lap race. We're just now coming into the second half of the race. Maybe later on they might be a bit more edgy in their moves, but I think at the moment they'll be happy to stick where they are as such. But Richard Wilde, who made a lot of points up in the championship in the last meeting, he's got himself up into the top 10 of the championship now, so he'll be trying to help his cause in the championship. Goes a little bit wide there though, going in through the corner there, so Andreas Katz will pull out maybe a car length on him, but these three certainly are the pick of the field at the moment.
And you can see as the timings come up on the screen there, the top 3 cars are separated by less than 1 second going over onto lap 10, and a mistake from any of these drivers could mean a change for the lead, or indeed any one of these considerable number of back markers up in front could also mean the same thing. So Terry's in 4th at the moment, a steady 4th, 4 seconds behind this pack. Naris in 5th, very impressive result if he can stay there. Granell 6th, Fletcher 7th, Bodis in 8th, Shaw 9th, Van Gool is currently running in 10th place, as we do have quite a few back markers. We've got 24 cars at the moment on the lead lap, and everyone else is a lap down.
There's KX cars to switch position as well. Granell has found his way past Naris, so David Granell up and down to 5th position.
Granell a man to watch perhaps, because his next target will be the Dyno Jet of Adam Terry, as the one of the Airways cars gets out of the way.
Katz has got a run here maybe on, and Katz, then they had a little go down the inside of Jules there. Cabo Lopez, he says one of the Pertec cars getting a little bit in the way there as they went into Druids. It blocked in Andreas Katz and Cabo Lopez, and Cabo Lopez was quite lucky there to keep the position. But as we said before, this traffic I think could play a part in the outcome of this race, which should be a bit of a shame. But when these three drivers are going so close together, any time wasted is going to cost them.
Absolutely. As we just watch a quick replay then of Katz trying to get down the inside, there wasn't any room. He didn't insist, he didn't force the move, so no change in position up front at the moment. Terry now has made up a little bit of ground on the lead pack. Grunnell, though, is not a very long way behind him either. So Adam Terry coming up against that same traffic we've just seen the leaders go through. The Pertec car moves out of the way. Grunnell's now got to get through and got to close up in that gap in the last 4 laps of this race, otherwise it will be 5th for him, barring any other mistakes.
Yeah, as we were talking about earlier about cars who struggled to start. Nick McCarran's another one in the Welsh Motorsport car, outside the points, currently in 20th position, so he's another driver who's suffering a bit. But I think Cobra Lopez starting to pull out a little bit here on Andreas Katz. It was 4 tenths at the end of the last lap. I don't think it's quite going to be this far this time though.
It's about the same, I think.
In fact, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, 5 tenths maybe. It depends on what part of the straight you're looking at. So
yeah, but Cobra Lopez, they've got a Welsh Motorsport car in front of them as well, which could come to Richard Wild's advantage if he's in communication with his teammate. He could maybe make it a little bit harder for them front two to come past. But it'd be interesting to see if team tactics do play a part in this championship.
Absolutely, and there's 4 cars actually lined up as back markers in front of them, so that is going to be a tall order to get past all of those cleanly, because there isn't a long straight on this track, and you've got to feel like they're going to have to give a bit of leeway around the corners, otherwise they will make contact, and that would be disastrous at this stage of the race with 3 laps to go.
But what you've got to remember is they're all fighting for position amongst themselves as well. They're not going to want to get out of the way, and one of the Dyno Jet cars saw they go flying through the gravel at Paddock Hill as they go at the top. So these drivers in front, there may be a little bit some nervous moments for the leaders seeing that going on in front. There's 2 Dyno Jets battling fiercely together, and then there's also another Welsh Motorsport car as well, and I think they'll come up to them in the next lap or 2.
They will indeed, as Richard Wild is now right on the back of Andreas Katz. I don't think, unless you count, first lap incidents, I don't think I've seen Andreas Katz be overtaken in this championship. But if anyone is going to do that, it might well be Richard Wild this time round. Currently running in 3rd position, and anything could happen with just 3 laps to go here at round 13 from Brands Hatch.
Yeah, the back marker there, number 22, Graham Smith, did well. He got out of the way coming onto the pit straight, moved over to let the leaders pass. That's good awareness from him. And the next 2 cars in front of them are the 2 Dyno Jets. I think that's Eckert von Glan, maybe? I don't think, yeah, one of them is Eckert von Glan. But they're holding up the leaders at the moment.
Neither of them yielding at the moment. They're not obliged to yield if they're battling for position. So this could be interesting, as one of them does get out of the way. Oh, Katz!
It's been taken out by the back marker. Oh, that is really harsh lap there for Andreas Katz. It was a number 16 car who I think is involved in that accident, but very, very unfortunate car there for Andreas Katz, and that is, wow, I feel absolutely, that's just not good at all. He's going to be absolutely livid that Dyno Jet car's done it. I don't think he did mean that on purpose, but what a cruel, cruel blow for Katz.
That is absolutely unbelievable. As the drivers come onto their last lap now, that will have ended Katz's race, or at least put him well down the field. But I mean, what could the Dyno Jet car have done? He ran out of road. He ran out of road there.
Yeah, he maybe could have let him go on the straight there. There was a straight before then. The car that they were racing with before decided to give the race leaders room, and I think the Dyno Jet driver's going to feel a bit guilty there, that's for sure.
Well, in actual fact, he didn't lose any positions there, did he? Katz is still running in 2nd place. As obviously the gap's increased dramatically between him and the Cobra Lopez, who takes the first win in his first race of the series. Katz is over the line in 2nd place. I don't know how he managed to hold on to that one. It looked like a race-ending collision. Terry coming through in 4th.
That is amazing. I got to go back.
That was incredible driving from Katz to keep the car on the track. Wild did well, I think, to keep not force a position, give him some chance to get back on the track. Obviously, clearly wasn't his fault, but Wild would have been well within his rights to go for that, take the 2nd place. So, Terry 4th, Grunnell 5th, Naris 6th, another new entry, Mark Fletcher in 7th place, Bodice 8th, Shaw 9th, Van Gool is home in 10th place. Hefford, his teammate behind him, in 11th. Steve Richardson only can manage 12th this time round. Neil Hind 13th. Ryan Littlemore, another new entry, in 14th. Jonathan Rex 15th. Then it's Hunt. Simon Field with a disappointing 17th outside the points, unfortunately. Couldn't manage to hold on to that even after, you know, battling away with all that damage to his car. Teagle 18th. Ridley 19th. And Nick McCarron with a disappointing 20th place. And that looked like a clear-cut 1-2-3 to me. I didn't see anyone making any moves, and then we had that right just before the last lap. That was an incredible finish to that first race, Dan.
I've just had a look at the Andreas Katz save, and I think it's probably one of the best pieces of driving I've seen on this service. I've been here about 15 months. What happened was, Katz came round the corner, collided with the number 86 car, Sam Goff. He was literally facing the grass and has somehow managed to pull it back. I don't know if you remember the Jason Plato one at Paddock Hill a few years ago in the real BTCC, but it was very, very similar to that. And that, I take my hat off to Andreas Katz. That is unbelievable for a save. We both thought he was out of the race and he'd be lost a lot of time for that, but Andreas Katz has pulled back from an almost unsavable position, but he's shown it can be done, and I'm dumbfounded by that. That is extraordinary.
I'm just trying to find a replay of that for the cameras, but can't seem to get the I can't seem to get a replay of that, unfortunately. But yeah, absolutely unbelievable that he managed to stay in that. Just testament to how good the drivers are around this track. With the top three would have finished within 1 second of each other, and then the top 10 really finishing not too much behind that either. So top points in the first race going to Koba Lopez. Andreas Katz is second, amazingly, don't know how that was possible, and Richard Wilde takes the final podium spot in race 1. We're going to take a short break now, and we'll be back for race 2 in about 10 or 15 minutes time. Dan, that was incredible. I'm looking forward to race 2. I'm sure you are as well.
Oh, definitely. Very much looking forward to that one. I need to get my breath back though from that save, so I think a break probably be for the best.
And we will see you guys in about 15 minutes.